Hey everybody, it's Patty Wunder, your Scentsy director for Team Wunder Bar, and welcome to Tuesday night team talk for February 2021. I'll just wait for a hot minute for people to hop on and then we'll get going. I forgot to bring my water with me, so hopefully I don't choke. Maybe I will switch to, I'm going to quickly switch the 3. Okay, sorry. I just thought of that because the internet here has been really dodgy, so I was like, let me go to 3G quickly before all of a sudden you all say, "Ugh." So, hey Lulu, how are ya? All right. I'm getting my hair done tomorrow, so I didn't leave my hair out today because I figured, that's what hats are good for. So what time do we have? 8:31. Please say hi when you're here so I know who's here. It does actually matter to me when you say hello. Hi, Janice. All right. As always, I try to kind of sense the vibe of the team. A lot of that comes from seeing numbers. A lot of it comes from viewing reports. A lot of it comes from me just looking at my front line. Hi, Serena. And looking at consistencies or inconsistencies of numbers, or I am not a number person, but when you do this and you have as many people, I sometimes think about some of these directors and superstar directors and star directors that have 6,000 people. I'm at like, now we're less than 200 because finally the ones that didn't place orders for 12 months are gone. But hi Kathy. And I always have an idea of what I want to talk about, and then I look and read the room and go, yeah, we shouldn't probably, we're not in that place that we should talk about that. So I kind of did a little bit of, I don't know, just kind of sensing the vibe. That's kind of what I've been doing. I know that January is a little quieter for a lot of people, because especially in this part of the world, because they're in this vacation headspace. And that's all it is. It's a headspace. It's not a people don't wanna or people aren't. It is actually a headspace. And one of the things I always like to do in January is to get 2,000 PRV, just to prove to you you can. And it's a kind of touchy subject with me, and I know it's a very un-American thing not to work. And so I have tried in the last like 6 years to kind of just coast this, oh yeah, but I've realized even during downtime that you really don't need to do much. It's kind of like that analogy that Orville always talked about the merry-go-round, that I'm going to talk about again for quick. But it's that idea of, if you just do the little things consistently, you don't have to worry about doing ginormous things all the time, you know, or, oh my God, or, so for those of you who haven't heard the merry-go-round story from Orville, you know, the merry-go-round at the park that your kids usually play on, and you grab hold of it and you run, and when it goes real quick, you hop on and then you go, woo! Every once in a while, when it starts slowing down, you have to put your foot down again and just keep it going, and just keep it going. If you don't, at one point, it's going to stop, and you're going to have to get off the merry-go-round and run. And so every November, I think, and December, I pretty much talk about don't let the merry-go-round stop, because it's harder to get it going. It's so much easier to get it going when you have parties in your book already, when you have sharing appointments, when you have everything booked already for January and February, so that it snaps you out of that headspace of, I don't feel like it, and I'll do it later. I feel sometimes that people think that I always am motivated and I'm always like working and blah, 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 blah. I am not. I am not. This actually came up in a Marco Polo today, so I thought I'd share it. Somebody shared with me that they're still struggling with motivation. Now, I think this is a pretty good fair statement for most of Team Wunder Bar based on numbers. And I will tell you something. If you are looking for motivation, you're not going to find it. Motivation comes from within. You can be inspired by to create movement, but motivation is an inside job. It is all inside. On most days, last week, and thank you for Kathy for checking in with me. That was very sweet. The people that understand my consistency, when you're really consistent and all of a sudden you're maybe not doing something that you would normally do, people wonder, oh, are you okay? And so Kathy said, you were quieter this week. And I said, well, I did what I had to do. I did the minimums. I contacted my customers. I made sure I posted in the team page. But I was not feeling well, and I've been doing a lot of pet sitting. And for me, someone that doesn't like to really leave the house and isn't a people person, when I have to leave the house every single day, it takes a lot out of me. It makes me super exhausted and super tired. Literally going from this house to drive to another house to simply feed and sit on a couch with animals. It's the concept of leaving my safe place, which is my home, twice a day for a week. And I don't know how people do it with jobs, but it takes a lot out of me just because I have to leave the house. It's being on alert that I have to get up and I have to get dressed and I have to do these things, where normally I just got dressed. So if you think or you assume things about me, I've had messages from some people that go, well, you don't have the same life I have, and you don't have this that I have, and you don't have to worry about this. Don't ever compare yourself to other people. Ever. You don't know anything, unless you're really close to me. You don't know anything that I do, think, say, have to deal with on a daily basis. You do not know. Do not assume that your problems are bigger than my problems. Do not assume that you're busier and so you can't do things. Don't do that to people. It's rude. It's really, we all have 24 hours in a day, and we all have choices of what we do with those 24 hours. And you are where you are because of the choices that you made, whether it's children, whether it's a husband, whether it's Scentsy, whether it's another job. It's all choices that you made. And what I've learned is usually the people that are crazy busy and stacked, their days are stacked, they actually do a better job with Scentsy. They know more people, they're active, they're outside more, they're out in the world more. They have more connections because they know this person there and this person there and this person there. And Scentsy isn't hard if you just sprinkle. And I think people forget to sprinkle. They think that they have to set aside time, like crafting, but you don't. You literally just walk in. Hey, Angelina. You literally walk in somewhere and hand a sample while you're already at the places that you are. You know, you wear your Scentsy shirt. You have Scentsy on your car. All of that helps. And you're just going about your day doing your things. And so I wanted to come tonight and kind of go back to the basics. And I think there's a lot of you There's some of you that have used to be at a certain place and used to be really consistent, and then something happened. Now, some of those people were pandemic people. Our job, our February, this February, really different than last February. Our January, this past January, really different than last year's January. The world is a different place. People do business differently than they did before. And they have an understanding, assuming that you've communicated this properly, they have a different understanding of what to expect. So, saying all this, you might not be able to do what you did last year or the year before this year with your business. You may have to learn something new, watch some videos, and I really have a problem with people going, I don't have time to watch videos. You don't have to watch them. You can listen to them while you do other things. Some can't, some can. I'm somebody that I actually do need to focus on it. But I also look and go, well, I have a half hour or an hour, and I have to do the new releases and those kind of things. I watch Scentsy videos. I never think I know everything. I don't know everything. There's things I suck at. There's things I'm afraid to do. There's things that I need to do better at. But I'm trying to get better at those things because the longevity of my business depends on it, right? So when I look back at when people say, well, how did you succeed? And how are you always so consistent? And there was a thread in the director page today or yesterday, and it said, if you were ever in DQ, director, if you didn't hit your director title after 3 months, you go to something called DQ, director in qualification, and you have 3 months to get your numbers back up, or else you fall back down to superstar consultant. Yes, thank you, Angelina, exactly. And then the magic of after listening is to actually implement what you learned. And maybe that's the thing. Maybe you guys are listening to so many or watching so many that you've frozen yourself because you're like, you want to do all these things. And so you're doing nothing because you can't figure out where to start. So if that's you, figure out what you want to work on. Figure out what you want to work on. Whether it's booking, host coaching, recruiting, sponsoring, you have to use all the different lingo, but then go into YouTube and put Scentsy booking or Scentsy host coaching or Scentsy hosts or Scentsy parties or something, whatever, Scentsy recruiting, Scentsy sponsoring, Scentsy promotion. Put those things in YouTube, put that in the search bar, or in Facebook in the search bar, the main search bar. Yes, you can definitely use the one in each of the groups. I highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. There is so much information out there. If you literally just type a couple things in a search bar here and there, they're everywhere. Plus Workstation. Now, it's really funny that I always say Workstation last. There's some really good stuff on Workstation, but there's so much on Facebook. You could watch a training every single day, probably for over a year, and still never watch the same one twice on Facebook with all the different Scentsy trainings. So in the About section of Team Wunder Bar, there are groups and pages that I recommend so that you're not wasting your time on some of the other ones that are just chaos and drama and things like that. So, so yeah, what was I saying? So I was basically saying that I still suck at stuff and I want to get better at it. So how can I get better at it? You can't always say you don't have time. You do have time. You might have to do it a different way. You may, if making more money is important to you and your family, and you've sat down and set your goals with your family, your husband, whatever, and you said, or wife or partner or whatever, and you say, I'm going to do this per month. And again, I always tell people, if hubby pays most of the bills and you're not working, you're a housewife, take over one of those bills for your husband or your partner. Take it over. Say, I'm going to take a small one just to start. I'm going to pay this with my Scentsy earnings every month. No way, no how should he bail you out or she bail you out. You figure out what you have to do that. And that, I think, is sometimes that was always my motivation, was because I thought Earl would pass away and I needed to make sure I could pay all the bills myself, right? So, but now my why is different. So with this conversation today, when she said, I'm still, my motivation is still, people, it's normal. It's really normal. I can tell you, out of 30 days of a month, I probably feel motivated 2 of them. Do I love what I do? Absolutely. Do I love Scentsy? Absolutely. It is a job to me, because I just told you I don't like leaving the house every day. So can you imagine me trying to work for somebody else? I get physically ill at the thought. So on the days where I sit there and I go, oh, what if you just did it tomorrow and you just did double tomorrow? Because I still have goals every week. So I may do that headspace thing with myself and go, okay, well, you can not do it today, but then you have to do double tomorrow, because it just piles. Because I have daily goals, right? So if I was supposed to contact 5 people today about hosting and 5 people about joining, that means tomorrow I have to do 10 and 10. All right. That'll take an extra 10 minutes. Fine. So sometimes I do that. There's a big thing with me that says you cannot watch TV. You cannot watch Netflix until you've done this, this, and this. I go into every day knowing what I need to do that day. And whatever that means, if I want to do it early, great. If I want to do it late, great. If I want to do it in little chunks, great. Now, what takes me from going, I don't feel like it, I'll just do it later, I don't want to, there's a lot of I don't want to days. And some of you might find this surprising about me. There's a lot of I don't want to days. COVID changed my normal rhythm, because I was like a machine. I did almost the same thing every single day. And then COVID came, and I felt like I had to make sure I was coming up with extra ideas so that you guys could still work your business, as well as me still work my business, while they kept changing things because of levels and restrictions and essentials and blah, blah, blah. And things changed a lot, and I lost my routine. And probably since October, October, I've been trying to get my rhythm back and my routine back. It's still not back. And what I learned, I have a sneeze coming, I can feel it. What I learned was, I don't know if I'm ever going to get it back, but here's the thing. We can't change what's happening. But in last year, April, May, June, crazy things happened with our businesses. And guess what? We kicked ass. We had record-breaking months almost all of 2020. And it made us think different and get creative and go, well, what can I do? Well, here's the parameters. Here's what we can and can't do. Here's where we can and can't go. Here's what we can and can't sell. Okay, well, what can we do? And it was beautiful because we all came together and came up with ideas, and we shared them, whether it was mystery bags or, hey, try this, or what about this, or samples at your driveway, because a lot of people are going for walks, and pet samples, and, things like that, right? With little hand wipes and everything. You guys were amazing. And then all of a sudden, then we had product stuff. Some people decided to sweat about the product stuff, and some people went, okay, well, what do we have, and what can we sell, and what do we still had thousands of products to sell, and we just had to put attention to them and shine light on them and talk about them, because otherwise people were always buying the same crap. Sorry, Scentsy. Stuff. Your customers may always buy this, this, and this, they never even think to look at that, that, and that. So what if we share that, that, and that at least 3 times a week for the next couple weeks? What does it look like? What does it smell like? How does it help? How can you use it? What way? Because ultimately, wouldn't it be great to have a customer that uses the laundry, the cleaning, the wax, the diffuser, the oils, the wax, the stands, I guess. I have a couple. I'm not a big plugger of those. Unless you have little kids, because then that cord concealing one is amazing. Fan diffusers, car things, suitcase things when we can travel. All these things and that's why sampling is so important. So please don't ever assume that I am always like, whoa, Scentsy, yeah, wake up, woohoo. The people that really know me know I'm not like that. I'm always like, oh, it's morning. And by morning, I mean 11:30. Oh, I don't want to, but I have to. And how does that headspace go from that in my bed going, ugh, to me sitting at the desk, messaging people and contacting people? It happens because I have pictures of my why. I know in here what my why is. I know what my end game is. I know where I want to be. I know that if I don't do these things now, it's just going to prolong what I want. I know that I want to, in the future, move home. And I want to be able to take care of my mom so she doesn't have to worry so much about bills. I want to be able to get that amazing SUV and the penthouse apartment that I'm looking at. I want to be able to get some rescue dogs. I want to be able to travel. I want to be able to volunteer more and give more money to charity. The life, the picture, the snapshot of what I want my life to look like is very clear. It's very clear. Crystal clear. I could draw you a picture. I could write you what my day looks like. I could tell you what my apartment looks like, because I never want to buy a house. For those of you going, why doesn't she want a house? I've never wanted a house. I don't like that responsibility. I like to be able to just, when it breaks, get someone else to fix it. And in New America, renting is very different than here. So I'm just going to put that disclaimer out there quick. That's what gets me out of bed. That's what makes me do things I don't want to do. That makes me do things that I'm afraid of doing. That makes me get over myself and feel the fear, but work through it anyway. It's still scary for me to talk to people about booking, selling, and recruiting. Absolutely. It's still frightening to hand out samples and to talk to strangers, and especially when I'm not in the talking mood. But in my head is just logically switched that it is part of my life. I don't know if I told you guys this, but I was at the grocery store. I did not have a Scentsy shirt on. I had a hat on. Nobody could see my hair. Nothing on me said Scentsy. Nothing. Because I didn't want to talk to anybody that day. I was in that kind of mood. On those days, it means I don't want to talk to anybody. So it's like my paparazzi look. And a lady came up to me at the store and said, "You're the Scentsy lady, aren't you?" And I went, Jesus Christ. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yes, I am. Hi, how are you? It happens. I am the Scentsy lady. So it is one of those things. And it does help. But it wasn't always like that. I had to work. I had to do events. Have you check the events tab of Facebook and seen if you can have a stall anywhere, at a market, at a fair, at a school fair, can you do fundraisers? The basis of our business is people. And for us non-peopling people, yes, it's not our jam. But I assure you, if you just step out in courage and you just do the things and you commit. One of the things I've always really enjoyed from Joe Manuel, has always set a goal for how many new customers she's wanted every month. So she doesn't do it by sales. She just wants to grow her customer base this much by this month. Is that easier for you? I don't know. For me, dollar amount is easier. But for some people, it could just be, I'm going to have 20, speak of the devil, I'm going to have 20 conversations this week with people about Scentsy. It could be hosting, it could be joining, and it could be buying. That could be a goal for you. You don't have to set the same goals that I'm setting because your goals may be very different. Now, don't set pissy goals because you're afraid of the bigger goal. Set the bigger goal and then work it back into tiny, tiny steps. So my whole point was, half hour later, thanks for loving me, those of you who do. But I just wanted to talk from my heart tonight because I do think based on certain texts I've got or messages I've got or whatever, that people think motivation comes to me easily. Or, I mean, I am a very positive on 98% of the time, maybe 95% of the time. I am a happy, positive, life is cool with me kind of person. I will always find the positive spin on everything, and that's who I choose to surround myself with. So it is very much at my core. But being motivated to step out when you're fearful of rejection or fearful because your mind monkeys are swinging around up there and you're doubting yourself or you're feeling not in the mood that day, that comes from knowing and feeling your why. Why do you want extra money? Why do you want to promote? Why do you want to see your business grow? Why do you want your team to succeed? What would it mean for them if you help them succeed? So I wrote down some notes and I just wanted you to know that I know how you feel. You have to remember I was where you guys are. I was there. I had a kit and no customers and no teamies. And then I had a teamie and then I had customers. And then, you know what I mean? Like, but it all comes down from people contact. And you have to get comfortable with contacting people. In all ways now, the way things go right now, you should be able to contact people and connect on all different paths, whether it's in person, online, through text, whatever. So Rebecca, congratulations. I'm so proud of you for doing that. The more you do that, the easier it gets. The easier it gets. And that's where the 5 per day comes in, you know, ask 5 people a day to join, ask 5 people a day to host, and follow up and take care of your really good existing customers. You know, what does that look like to you? I know Kirsty did it as well. And Kirsty just keeps doing it because she sees the difference it makes in her business. True. That's true too, Joe. Absolutely. It's the new customers that come from left field that see you sell to someone else. Absolutely. And when you take really good care of somebody, they tell people. And when you deliver and the package looks pretty, because I always say try to deliver at work because then everybody sees the woo packaging. People want that. And if their consultant is only throwing it in a bag or it's not really, you've heard my undie story already several hundred times. So there's a difference. People want to feel special. They want that extra stuff, you know, and care and appreciation and gratitude that they use their hard-earned money to support you and your business when they could have chosen anybody. Right? So make sure. Same thing with team members. They chose you to join under. They trusted you. It's a huge trust issue when someone joins under you. They don't expect a drive-through window where they sign up and you don't talk to them, you don't text them, you don't talk to them about their goals, you don't coach them through their first 70 days. You just kind of go, oh, they're fine. I just talked to them. And you talk to them about, I don't know, a sale at Briscoe's. That doesn't count. That's not leadership. That's friendship. A little bit different. So you can have those conversations as well, but you need to have the actual conversations. They joined you for a reason and they trusted you. Customers, same reason. Take care of them. Take care of them. So everything starts with you reaching out to people. Nothing happens until then. Nobody knows you're selling still Scentsy. Do you know how many people ask me once in a while, oh, is so-and-so still selling it? Because they're on my team and they know that. And I go, yeah, I guess. I'm not going to lie and say, oh yeah, she's rocking it when they haven't placed an order in 6 months. I'm like, yeah, more personal use. That's what I say. If you're not talking about it, nobody knows you still do it. Don't think everybody still knows, because they don't. Nobody knows there's new scents unless you tell them, unless you contact them. Nobody knows your store is open on Boxing Day, on Christmas Day, on any day, on Waitangi Day it's coming, on Auckland Anniversary Day. People still need to know that your store is open. Even the mall has mall hours. That's your competition, the mall. The shops, as they say in Australia. The shops. Nobody knows about the new catalog unless you tell them. Are you sharing the link for the new catalog in all of your Amy follow-ups? Every single one. Check out my new catalog. Did you want your own shopping link? Are you giving them options on how to... A lot of people might not be party people, but how else can you get them to tell their friends about you and get free and half price Scentsy? I keep sharing different ideas, right? And all the trainings and all the different groups and world tour training and SFR training. Debbie Pitts-Palmer talked about shopping links, things like that. So make sure you're watching these videos. Sharing appointments. They are the foundation of what we do. We have to share what we offer, whether it's product or opportunity. It doesn't mean a party all the time. It means finding out what type of sharing works best for them. In person. In person is always the best. Always the best. And a home party, always the best. Sorry, but it is. And it's so much simpler and quicker than all the other things, in my opinion, in my experience. You can do one-on-one, meet at a coffee shop, meet at their house, wherever. You can do a party. You can attend someone else's party. They can attend somebody. I have one person, a really good customer of mine. She does not want to have a party. Never, nope, And she's a nurse. I'm trying. And I have one of her friends and I'm like, yeah, but you too could. So I'm trying to get that. But she will go to anybody else's house. So if I say, hey, I have a party on this day, you want to come? Or she'll say, hey, do you have any parties coming up that I could come to? And I'll just ask my host, do you mind if this person comes to your party? And they're always like, no, that's fine. But you can do that, right? Same thing about inviting your team members to your parties. If your team members aren't having parties because they're afraid to have parties or they've never been to a party, well, as their leader, you should probably have some on the books and take them with you, and they can watch at the parties of how you do them. If your sponsor isn't having parties, go one up from them. And then if they're not, go one up from them. But leaders have parties. So whatever that looks like, it could be at home, it could be online, but they have things in their books. So whatever that looks like, if it's an own party, definitely anybody's welcome to come with me. I've done it multiple times. So feel free to ask. You can go to a coffee shop. You can have it at a restaurant. If people don't want to clean their house, but they like getting together with friends, do it at the pub, do it at the restaurant, do it at a coffee shop, do it wherever. I'm always like, I'm game. Where do you want to do that? Work staff room. Those are always great ones. And you basically get to meet new people. You get to shake their hands. You get to canoodle, if you will. And they get to meet you and your vibe and your personality, and they have fun. Even if they don't buy something, make sure they remember you. Have little things there for them. Here's a little sample for you. Thanks for stopping by the staff room today. Whatever, right? Then you have on-the-go things that you can do. A bag party, a pouch party, a catalog party, a text party. Hey, do you have friends that love Scentsy? Great. Did you know if you sold 7 6-packs of wax, you'd have enough for free and half price Scentsy? It could be or tubs of washer whiffs, because it kind of goes, you know, tubs and 6-packs, same price, right? Online, Facebook, Zoom parties, text parties, shopping online, mystery host, VIP group, business page. You can do everything. You can have your own little online party. Just set up a display and go live, right? I always wait for one person in particular to say, yep, let's get together with the new catalog. So I book that appointment, and then I tell everybody where I'm going to be that day. And now I have 3 people coming that day. I said I'll be there anytime after 1:30. Just let me know if you're coming so I can have a pack ready for you. So now I have 3 people coming that day instead of 1 person coming to a restaurant. And now it's a party, basically. You don't have to make this so hard. Just talk to people, have a conversations, comment on people's posts, and go, oh, you know what? We should get together. You want to meet me for a coffee? I'll bring the new scents that you can sniff. Oh yeah. Most of the parties, like I have 3 parties booked for February, and almost all of them, I literally said, oh my God, I miss you guys. I think you should have a party so I can see you. And she's like, oh my God, totally. Yes. And she's got at least 10, the first one has at least 10 people coming right now. It's literally because I still stay connected to them, and I still comment on their life events, and I still text them every 2 months. And, you know, I shared with you that lady that sent me an email. I got my name wrong. I literally follow up with her every 2 months for, how many years was it? 2 years since she ordered something from me, or more? 2 years, didn't buy anything. She bought something that one day, and then every 2 months I followed up for 2 years. And then finally, boom, orders. And she said, thank you for staying in touch. I've had a couple people do that. Or people say, well, I bought something at a party, but she never really stayed in contact with me. Or I did this, but she never really contacted me after that. Once again, treating customers like they're at a McDonald's drive-thru instead of a preferred shopper, right? They're different than shopping at the warehouse. This is your small business. This is what you invest your time and energy and passions and creativity into. And it helps do things for your family and for yourself. It's important. You know their names. The warehouse doesn't know my name. Well, some places probably know my name. Sorry, but it's true. I'm just that crazy lady with pink hair that sells Scentsy. But do you know what I'm saying? Take really good care of them. Bring your team to your parties. Set the example. Here's something I watch happen all the time. And it's happened recently to several people in Team Wunder Bar, and I watched it happen. So if you have any teamies whatsoever, you need to know what their goals are and what they want from Scentsy. You have to have the conversation. No matter what they tell you, no matter what your own goals are, you could be like, oh, I just came into it for personal use, and she just joined. She still joined under you. You still need to take care of her or him. Sorry for those hymns. Your team works how you work. If you throw in the towel and you're like, nah, I'm on vacation, I don't really care, I'm just going to place an order whenever, usually 90% of your team is going to do nothing as well. If they aren't working with somebody else like me as a backup, or with somebody else to stay inspired and to have that feeling of momentum and belonging to something, they're not going to stay. They're not going to work, and they're taking their cues from you. And maybe you don't want that responsibility. You can become a non-sponsoring consultant. Your team will just roll up to whoever is above you. But you really set the tone for your team. I've watched a couple people now lose their team. And it was after they got really quiet, their team got really quiet. I've seen it for 6 years. I've watched it happen. And for some reason, teamies of that person they feel bad if they reach above their sponsor, which they shouldn't, and ask for help and guidance and coaching. So when they roll up to me, I would say 99.9 say, oh, thank God. It's nice to have somebody that actually is leading and coaching properly. Like, people want it, but nobody's having the conversations. Please, 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 this year in 2021, the year of self-love for me, also make sure that you love your team, because they're important. And you don't have to babysit them. You don't have to mother them. That is not your job. You don't have to hold their hand. But you need to make contact with them and let them know you're there for them, and have a conversation that says, hey, what are you looking to achieve with this? What do you want out of your Scentsy business? Do you want me just to leave you alone? I'll just contact you a couple times a month by text, because if you're using Amy, it's going to prompt you to follow up with your team. Or would you like more from me, and what would you like? And you have to be able to take what they say. And you as the teamie have to be able to know what you want. It might not be you know what you want from them, but it might be what you want to achieve. And as their leader, that's your time to step in and say, okay, you know what? That's fantastic. And you can say, you know what? I really suck at this part, or I'm not really great at this. Do you mind if I ask Patty to sit in with both of us, or Janice, or whoever your director is, and figure this out together? You shouldn't just pawn her off on me, but I get that not everybody is active and involved and things like that. So I completely understand that. And even if you gave me a heads up and said, hey, so-and-so reached out to me, I just am not in a place to help her right now, but she had shared with me that she wanted this. Would you be able to help her out with this and help her with some goal setting and things? Absolutely. You just have to let us know. You just have to let us know. We don't read minds. We're not going to stalk you or hammer you for set your goal. But when you say things like, oh, I want to do more with my business, or, oh, I want to promote, that equals great. What's your plan? Because you're not going to get there. If I try to drive from here to Auckland without a map and a GPS, good luck. Well, I'll keep following the road signs and hope I get there. New Zealand must be easier than America that way, but you have to have a plan. So when leaders aren't doing things and then they say their teams aren't doing anything, I'm always like, that makes sense. Or your team isn't wide enough. You haven't built your team big enough yet. So you tend to focus on the small team that you have, and you annoy the crap out of them. And they're just like, lady, back off. I said I would do this. But honestly, please reach out. And here's a disclaimer. If anybody wants some more help from me, if you're not my frontline, the first step in doing that is getting Marco Polo on your phone and adding me as Marco Polo and leaving me messages. Kathy can attest. I made Kathy go through that because Kathy's not in Team Wunder Bar, but I've adopted her, and so now she's one of us. But it's a way for me to start getting to know you and how serious you are, and kind of where it allows me to feel who you are, your moods, your struggles, what you rock at, what you love to celebrate, all different things. So please don't hesitate to add me on Marco Polo and send me a message. What else did I have quickly? The foundation of this is appointments. It's getting bookings. It's having sharing sessions. It's having a marketing plan if you're going to totally go off of social media, but you need to really know social media to use social media effectively. And social media means being social. It's not posting and off you go. It's literally investing and answering and commenting on other people's pages and other businesses and things like that in your area. And, you know, it's literally like a mixer or speed dating, but online. It's very strange, but you have to be social. How to get bookings. Come up with a line, come up with something that sounds good to you that you can just insert into a conversation. My favorite thing is, oh my God, we should get together so you can smell the scents. It's not, hey, you should have a party. It's nothing like that. It's literally just to put it out there. We should get together. Hey, you want to catch up for a coffee and smell the new scents? It's been a while, whatever that looks like to you. New consultants, if you're a new consultant or you haven't really started or you're relaunching, let's start with new consultant. New consultants can use the, hey, could you help me out? I'm looking for 5 people to have 3 to 10 people over so I can practice doing home parties and going through the catalog. Could you help me out? Okay, new consultants, you can ask for help. Relaunching your business, saying that maybe you haven't done a whole hell of a lot up to this point, or you did and then you didn't, and now you're like, oh, I really need to, I could use that extra money, or I could really do this now. You have to relaunch. I'm relaunching my business and I'd love your help. I respect you so much and you're so much fun, and usually that means that you have friends like you. Would you be able to get some of them together and let me kind of practice with the new catalog? I of course, will give you gifts for doing so. The need your help avenue of booking should not be used all the time. It should, like anything with Scentsy, asking for help is not something you want to do. I don't even like that I've been challenged to sell blah, 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 because I don't know. I think things should be more personal and more about the customer. When you say I've been challenged, it's all about you. If you're doing it for a fundraiser, that's possibly something else. I need to sell this many to help this foundation earn this or whatever. That's different. But if this is just benefiting you, I don't really like those kind of posts. So, so when you're asking for help, make sure they're like major things, and make sure you don't use it again anytime soon. So if you're doing it as a booking, or if you're doing to wrap up annual sales or annual mentor in a month or two, great. In a month. Those are the important times, or you're wrapping up a trip, or you're wrapping up a promotion. Those are you pick and choose very carefully, and like once a year, you can pick one where people can help you by placing orders or whatever that looks like. So I'm very delicate with that. Because here's the other thing. There is a consultant that every once in a while, when she needs a 200 PRV order, she goes, I need your help or I'm getting canceled from Scentsy. And that's what she posts. And every time I see it, I just want to drive to her house and slap her in the face. Now, not only did you have 4 months to do it, now you have 12 months. And if I see that post again, but all it does is it makes Scentsy look hard. And Scentsy isn't hard. And people shouldn't have to help you. You should be helping them. And if you're placing one order every 12 months, people probably aren't going to be as receptive as shopping with you, because they're going to have to either not include it in a party, or they're not getting rewarded enough, or people know I put in 2 to 4 parties a month. So they can contact me and go, hey, in your next order, can you add this? Yep, cool. Would you do that to somebody that you had to wait 12 months for? So these are the things. If you keep it consistent, keep the merry-go-round going, you're good. You are a funnel. You always want new contacts coming in. You can say, I'm in a contest, which we are going to have one. So from tonight until next Monday, let's do Monday night. From tonight until next Monday night, I want to see how many sharing appointments they can be one-on-ones, and they can be parties, pouch parties, book parties, whatever. I want to know who can do the most. So if you want to say, I'm in a contest to see for whoever gets the most sharing appointments, you can even say something out. I've been challenged. No, it sounds better as a contest. I'm in a contest to put Scentsy under more noses than anybody else in the month of February or March. Let's get together. I never say, can we? Because that's a yes or no. You don't want to ask people things that they can answer yes or no to. You always want a which, why, or how question. I just tell them, let's get together. Then they can say, oh, and then it's a little bit longer than no. But definitely we're going to do that. And I'm going to put a post in the, and anybody that has sharing appointments already in February, because I know Lou has some. I think she's got 3 parties booked, and Ann just got some, and I've got some. So anybody that has parties already, you can still count those for February, okay, and March. But I want to see how many parties and sharing appointment, how many people we can put Scentsy under their nose this month, okay? And so we're going to start a thread that way, and it's going to inspire other people. So make sure that you stick to it, to commenting under that post, and then follow up and let us know how it went too, because that's fun. Or if you tried something new, or if you tried a new game, or even if it was shit, let us know. It's important, because some people don't think there's crappy parties out there. Well, there's plenty. Do an opinion poll. Do a special, pick a card, and that's how much they get you can do booking specials and things like that. A one-day location sip and sniff, like what I'm doing. I booked one, and I said, hey, I'm going to be at this location after 1:30. If you want to come and smell the new scents and see the new catalog, come on, and we can have a drink and catch up. And I have a new person doing that I've never really met before. So I'm quite excited about that. But now I have 3 people coming, but I'm going to keep trying to get more people. And then think about who works a lot with teachers, nurses, call centers, anything where people are around a lot of people. And we're lucky in New Zealand because we can still be around a lot of people, but a lot of people are working from home. So, but they still know people, and some of them still go into the office once or twice a week, even if they're working from home. So work in your brain and figure out kind of who else you know. The other thing is your best customers. Your best customers. Wouldn't they rather have their stuff for free and half price? Your top hosts of 2020, or all your hosts of 2020. I usually go back into my calendar and start contacting all the people that had parties last year. Hey, did you know we haven't had a party in a year? I think it's time. Use your Amy app and look at your top spenders and your most orders. You can do a filter and it'll do it for you. Your PWS customers that maybe you don't know. Maybe they just order off your PWS. I have a couple of those. I need to talk to them about getting together for a smelly session so they can sit and smell the product, you know? Because some of them are still ordering the same scents that have been around forever, which is fine, but what if there's other things? I just did a party the other day, the big one that I shared about, and a lot of people didn't know about half the stuff we had. They only thought we had wax and warmers. And they're like, no, I don't want to get into wax. And I said, well, we have other things. And so I just kind of went, well, let's go through the catalog. And so I went through the catalog. She ended up buying 2 wall fan diffusers and a bunch of pods. And then she bought a warmer. And so they just don't know what we all have. We have a lot. Scentsy has a lot. So she didn't have to buy wax and warmers. We have laundry. We have this. We have that, you know. And actually, she was pressured almost into buying whiffs. She's like, oh, for God's sakes, everybody keeps talking about them. I guess I'll order some whiffs. And I went, the beauty of a party, right? Past consultants on your team. Today or yesterday, we lost 23 people in Team Wunder Bar, which isn't actually that bad considering, which meant that they hadn't placed an order of 200 PRV in a month or more in 12 months. Now, all my frontline people that I lost 8. I texted all of them today and said, hey, now that you're not in Scentsy anymore, I just want to check in with you to see if you would like me to be your Scentsy consultant and be added to my customer list and added back into my VIP group, or if you found somebody else, which is fine too, just let me know. And I'll be happy to set up a shopping link for you for the next 3 months so that in case you have people that still need to order stuff, you still get your free and half price items. They just don't get the commission from it. I do. And I actually had somebody go, yes, please, can I have a shopping link? Sure. And yes, please, can you add it too? Some people think they're going to be shunned if they're not in Scentsy anymore. You're not going to talk to them. I have some of my best customers were people that tried Scentsy and was like, yeah, it really wasn't for me, but can you still be my customer? Absolutely. And I have quite a few of those. And they're amazing hosts because they love the product. I have some on Scentsy Club even. So don't forget about those people. Any of the team members that also went bye-bye, within the next month or so, hopefully, if you are the upline of those people that left, you will be getting their customer lists as well. So you're going to want to reach out to them. So I do have text and verbiage on what I normally say to that. That works really, really well. So let me know if you need that. Just send me a private message. It's also in the team page somewhere if you Google it or search for it. But I found a really good system for that keeps it quick for them and for me. And so it gives you a chance to take care of people properly again. Don't forget to collect people's info when you go places. Whenever I go to a new doctor's office or anywhere where there's a business card, I take the business card and I add them to my email list. They can unsubscribe if they'd like. But I do that. And then, of course, the 50-10. If you're really serious about building your customer base, 50 samples a month to strangers, minimum, and 10 join packets a month. And you keep doing it month after month after month after month. You may not have something pan out month 1 because it might show up month 3. But you just kind of keep that momentum going and you make sure that you're always out there trying to connect to people. For someone like me that doesn't really leave the house often, I make sure that I keep that bowl of samples by the door or somewhere where I see it. And I make sure if I'm leaving the house that I utilize that. And sometimes I will play the game with myself of you're not allowed to go home until you get rid of these samples. So my favorite thing to do is literally go through the drive-thrus and give the people at the windows samples. It's worked a couple times where they've went, ooh, and ordered from me. So I just get a bottle of water. That's all I get. So you pay at the first window. She gets samples or he gets samples. And then you go to the next to pick it up. They get more samples there too. So easy peasy to get rid of them. Then you go get gas and then you go to the post shop and then you go here and you can just give out samples wherever you go. So So from tonight until Monday night, we're going to run basically a week-long booking blitz. And we're going to see how many sharing appointments we can come up together as a team. So, with as many people as we have, I'd love to see 100. They can be in February or March. I'll just say that, February, March. I'd say at 100, let's aim for 100. If we get to 100, when we get to 100, I'll do a drawing for something. I haven't figured out what, but we'll do a drawing for something. The other thing I quickly want to do, mentioning that, I'm redesigning postcards. So you didn't get your postcards for last month. They're coming. And then this month, of course, you'll get those too. So just hang tight. I'll get them to you. They're still coming. And I'm still working on the prizes because I have to do the math for that. And it's very confusing for the annual prizes. Yay, Annette! That's right, Annette told me that too. Congrats. Sorry, I forgot about you, Annette. Well done. So once I put that post up, make sure in the announcement section, make sure that you add them in there. Okay? Okay, Miss Annette. Does anybody have any questions? I literally just kind of, hello. I want to just make sure that you guys know I get it. I've been where you are. I know what it's like to not feel like it, but I also know what it's like to just do it anyway. So, I hope I gave you a couple ideas, or you found one little piece of something that helps you, or an idea. But I know you guys can do amazing things, but I know it's harder to get restarted than if you just had the momentum and kept going. So I really hope you take this next week and you just contact as many people as you can and try to get as many sharing appointments that you can for February, March, and that you find out what your why is. I think it's really important to know why you're doing Scentsy. And if some people are like, oh, just to save money on Scentsy, well, what are you going to do with that money that you save? Are you saving it for something? Are you just blowing it every time it comes? Are you paying a bill with it? Why is it important, that extra money just that you're getting back from your orders? Just thoughts. But these are the things I'll ask you. So, because everybody joined for a reason. What was your reason? Is the reason you joined the same reason that you're staying? Mine's not. Most people isn't. It's similar, mine is, but not the same. So, but yeah. So make sure that you're getting the new catalogs out to everybody. Make sure that you are sharing. Ooh, if you don't have, by the way, you can get all the scents and get them free and half price if you're getting orders and things like that. But don't forget, you can also use transition sets, the testers, but you don't get PRV for those, and create testers, little samples as well. So, so don't forget to give these to your best customers, no matter where they are. I have a set going to Australia. Two actually going to Australia, because I have an Australian person on Scentsy Club as well. So Denise, I am always here for you, always. You know where to find me on Marco Polo, because I just love messages from you. So holler if you need me, okay? Don't be shy. Kathy, I'm contemplating going live on my business and doing an online party. Okay, on your page. I'm just throwing the idea around going through the new stuff when I get it. I have different thoughts about that, and everybody will probably have different thoughts about that. I've seen recently that direct sales people or network marketing people that are using groups lately, they've gotten in trouble from Facebook. I can't remember why, but something weird recently happened, and I didn't really take notice of it because I don't do that. If you're showing the new product though, I would just do it live on your business page and let people know when you're going to do it, and then do a leading up to it. I actually did, for the first time, I boo-booed on my business page when I did Last Chance First Glance. I actually had it in the event on my business page. And normally I do it just on the main business page, and then everybody can see it, and all friends and all team members and whatever. I did it in the event on my business page thinking the same thing would happen. It didn't. I didn't get as many views as I would normally get, and I couldn't share it the same way I could share it from my business page because it was in the event of the business page. So that was a bit weird. So for me, my goal is to have as many people see it as possible all the time. So that's the goal, right? You want to take your net and you want to throw it as far off and hit as many people as you can and get them under that net of your video as possible, or your post, or whatever it is. So if you're limiting it to a group, it's still only in that group. And I'll tell you personally, for me, I'm really sick of groups. I did a big clean out of my groups the other day. Same thing with group messages. No. So, and people are catching on. That's the other thing. People are catching on about groups for parties, kind of thing. So, oh, I know what it was. Busily, is it Busily or something else, won't post in them anymore. Something like that. So everybody's been like, ah! Anyway, forget the chaos of that. In the end, it's up to you, and it's your business, so you can do whatever you're comfortable with. But in my suggestion is, don't you want as many people as possible to see it? If you're on your business page, and as you go live and you share it to your personal page, all the people on your personal page will see it. All the people on your business page will see it. Their friends will see it because it's public. And that's, to me, what you want, is more people to see it. That's just logical to me. But again, if you ask somebody else, they could give you a completely different answer. So that's my Patty Wunder answer for you. I usually just go live when my new stuff comes. I just go live and go, "Ooh, I got a Scentsy order today." And I try to do it at a certain time that I know people have probably put the kids to bed. Although I know lots of kids, for some reason, like watching Patty with the pink hair. But I try to do it at that 7:30, 8 o'clock time, because I know more people will be watching. Yeah. That's the beauty of a business page, is that it's public. Everything you post is public. That's how I get new customers all the time, is because I'm consistent on that page and people refer me. And so when people go to my page, they can see, oh, she's posted 3 times today. She's very active in her business. Or they see all the things they need to see, and they watch my videos and they like my personality, because they've told me this. I'm not just saying this. This is what I've been told. And they go check out other people's, and it's just really boring photos, or the last photo was maybe December 20th, or do you know what I mean? So people do shop around. And so the more consistent and more active you are on your business page, it invites people in. And when one person likes it, it tells other people that know them, hey, Susie likes Kathy Papp's independent Scentsy consultant. You might too. And so that's the beauty. Or when you're doing the live and somebody's watching it, it will show me, it'll say something like, your friend Susie Q is watching this. And it'll show your video underneath because of algorithms, right? So that's the beauty of being public with what you do, and the beauty of a business page, as opposed to keeping things silent and private and different things. I have moved my Scentsy parties to private now. I don't know why I started doing that, but I started doing that. So yeah, but I used to do it always public, and then I was like, man, I'll just post the same things on all, so that works too. Well done, Annette. All right, I'm going to go. It's been an hour. Shanti's around. She's doing, in case anybody cares, she's doing much better with her navigation without her sight. She's been doing a lot better, I noticed, in the last day or two. So she's still walking into things here and there, but she's not, it's not as bad. She can jump up on certain things now, and she knows exactly where she is, and she runs through the doorway instead of into the doorway, things like that. So, so that's good. And then, of course, more pet sitting for me Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yes, and it's Waitangi weekend, so I think that means we get an extra day on Monday where people will be home, so when you contact them during the day, they'll be free. That's how my brain works. All right, have a wonderful night. I will put the post up about the booking, and we will see how many sharing sessions we can get. If you do a single sharing session, and it's supposed to be for one person, but all of a sudden you get a couple extra people to come, that's 3 separate ones, not just one, because they didn't know each other. So you're putting them at one point. So I do hope that you understand that I did speak from my heart, and that I just need to get going. And I know how hard it is. So, all right. If you have any questions, let me know. If you need help with planning or goal setting or trying to figure out what you exactly want, let me know. It is one of my specialties, and it's in my wheelhouse. It's something I'm actually really good at. So there's some things that I'm good at and I know, and there's some things I really suck ass at. So I also know those. So, all right. Good night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in, those of you who did. And if you are watching this later and watching the recording, just put after party in the comments, and then I can see who watched afterwards. Okay, bye.